We already know who we are. For those students that are struggling with whether it's safe to be who they are, education about LGBT people will open the door to their freedom. It will show them that we are here, we exist, and we are okay. Mr. Ashjian's comments and shared beliefs do the opposite. Let's imagine for a moment that Mr. Ashjian's comments had been directed towards students who are Black, or Hispanic, or Asian, or disabled, or female. Would he still be here? His comments were not a mistake or an oversight. They are the latest example of a string of comments by him on this subject. To the rest of the board, it's 2017. Stop supporting belief as equal to fact. Stand up for truth. Stand up for integrity. Stand up for science. Stand up for reality. Most of all, stand up for the students.
My name is Abel Parra Gutierrez, and I want to say something to you. It seems that part of this community is more worried about their children's sex education than their formal education. I worked for the district for 23 years, and all the students are safe in this district. All the students are safe. I have never seen anything against the students, never in 23 years. I'm a friend of education. I helped Valerie Davis, Carol Mills, Michelle Asadorian, and Larry Moore with their campaigns to become board members. I didn't help Chris de la Cerda because I think he was appointed by the last, I think he was appointed to that position by Michael Hansen. Michelle Asadorian and I wanted the community to elect a new board member when Tony Bank was gone. We went home to home looking for signatures. The signatures were enough, but I don't know what happened, what went wrong with the process in Sacramento. I would like to see Fresno Unified School District going in a successful path for students, parents, teachers, and staff. It's a good to have an independent board. It's good to have an independent board of trustees, an independent auditor to see where all this money go. All these monies go to education and to the management. And thank you very much, and don't worry, your children are safe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Ashjian, followed by Sandy George.
Hi, I'm a long-time parent volunteer. Many of you know me. I wanted to just speak in support of a couple of different things, that picking this man was the right decision, and I hope things move forward. I'm a Christian. I have my beliefs, but I also teach my kid to be inclusive, my children, my boys to be inclusive. So I'm here on a couple of things that I hope that everybody in the community can be respectful of each other, because both sides exist. We need to coexist. I do, unfortunately, Mr. Ashjian, think that your personal beliefs, which I respect, were probably inappropriate to put in an article. But at the same time, you don't know what kind of work he does. Maybe he's has important work, maybe he doesn't. It's up to these people who have to work together to know if they can move forward. So I would just hope and be in support of the board, but also be in support of everyone here, not to turn this into a circus, because it takes away from the work that they really need to do. And we're spending 45 minutes just to allow so many people to talk. Just come up and be respectful and don't rip people apart. That's all I'd like to see, is because our community and our society is being ripped apart. And we just need to make it upon ourselves to do our part to work together. That's it.
Board President and Governing Board, thank you for this opportunity. I consider myself an education warrior, and just about the time I think I've uncovered all the perils of education, something like the California Healthy Youth Act rears its ugly head. I'm here to support Brooke Ashjian. Despite making it very clear that Fresno Unified would abide by the law, he has been crucified for merely voicing his opinion. That is his constitutional right. I am opposed to the state mandating that public schools teach children alternative, anti-biblical sexuality at any age, but it doesn't make me a bigot or a racist. It's just contrary to God's word. If any of you are believers or Christians, and you don't stand up against this, I believe you're giving it your stamp of approval. The American College of Pediatricians has called this education child abuse. Their president said teaching the myth that a child can be trapped in the wrong body will potentially lead to fear that they aren't the sex that their bodies clearly indicate. I have a friend that asked me to read this tonight. Quote, I believe exposure to any subject material is an opportunity to raise questions and change minds. My adult kids today are my greatest blessings, and both are gay. I never imagined this to be. However, the school educators saw and accessed the potential, and so it goes. No doubt, today's education technology delivery system will provide a greater yield of gays or non-binary gender students than ever before. And I would like to close with this quote from George Washington. If freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent, we may be led like sheep to the slaughter. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm here today to show support for the students and families of Fresno Unified. I was at the last board meeting and witnessed members and supporters of the LGBT community eloquently, powerfully, and respectfully voice their concerns over the comments and actions attributed to Mr. Ashjian and the Fresno Bee. But I wonder if those same individuals have reached out and requested a meeting with Mr. Ashjian to initiate a dialogue to help improve understanding and progress. I then watched as members De La Cerda and Davis tried to use the board meeting as a means to put the spotlight on themselves and in part diminish the comments that were shared with community members, by the community members. And I don't have the time this evening to get into the editorial that was written by Mr. De La Cerda. Mr. Ashjian's attributed comments should not have created this firestorm that now exists. It is true that in a perfect world, public schools should not be responsible for presenting sex education materials. It should be the parents that take care of this. But unfortunately, this isn't a perfect world. And not all parents are addressing this subject as they should, making it a necessity for schools to address it. So, as he should have, Mr. Ashjian voted to approve the new state curriculum. The other controversial statement, that this curriculum may sway students, isn't untrue either. There is a certain demographic of students that have had extremely difficult lives. Some have suffered physical, mental, and emotional issues. Some live in foster care because of these, while others are trapped in these circumstances. This obviously creates increased levels of stress, depression, confusion, and despair, making these kids more susceptible to participate in behaviors that they might not under different circumstances. These behaviors could include substance abuse, gang and criminal activity, and premature sexual activity. These not yet fully developed minds are easily swayed, and the evidence of this is all around us. The vast majority of teenage students already know what their sexual orientation is, but there are still some that do not. In regards to sexual orientation, schools should not be the ones promoting gay or straight lifestyles. So it's time to put these issues to rest, create dialogue where needed, and continue to address the needs of students of Fresno Unified. There's been so much progress made in the last year and a half, and Mr. Ashjian's leadership and involvement have been instrumental.
Thank you, Mr. Orr. Marilyn Jolly, followed by Andrew Fabella.
Hello. First and foremost, I'd like to thank President Ashjian and the board members for all their hard work. I come in peace to speak from my heart tonight. Let us not forget Brooke Ashjian and this board voted in the sexual education curriculum and are following the federal law. The families have an important role in the rearing of their children. The freedom to teach values and character to those we are stewards over is essential to a strong community. The Constitution gives us the right to freely express ourselves and our beliefs in free speech. It allows families to worship or not worship how they wish, no matter what your religion or no religion. We have a right to express our beliefs without fear of losing our jobs or being attacked and bullied. Everyone is guaranteed the right to believe what their conscience dictates and to not be punished for expressing their beliefs. No person or group has a right to silence anyone's freedom of speech. The government or school or an outside group like the Fresno Bee surveys that were conducted should not be mandated and are overstepping parental stewardship. I was shocked by the survey that was conducted without adult consent in Fresno Unified to children. I have to ask those who took action in this, did they think about the child's background? If a child had been abused or hurt by a sexual encounter, those questions could be very triggering. A parent has the right for the emotional safety of their child and the physical safety to determine how much exposure is mentally healthy. This is why I urge Fresno Unified as a board to adopt a bylaw that guarantees that parents must be notified. I also have to look around here today and see so many who judge Mr. Ashjian so harshly and have to wonder why. When President Ashjian's actions for this school district have spoken volumes, has no one